So, and his at-bats have been better. And I think you fall into, you know, like a roulette. If you're just moving guys all over the place when a guy's hot for a week or 2 weeks, or a guy's cold for 2 weeks and you move him, well, then if he gets hot, well, you're going to move him right back. I mean, I think it's difficult.
Well, that was Joe talking before the game when he was asked why is Aaron Judge still batting third in the lineup despite really a terrible second half of the season where he's hit 181 with 7 home runs and 14 runs batted in. You heard what Joe said. So let's take a look at the entire Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's in left, leading off, batting second. The center fielder Aaron Hicks. Aaron Judge is third, playing right field. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, cleans up. Batting fifth, the catcher Gary Sanchez. Chase Headley at first base, bats sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Todd Frazier. Tyler Austin gets another start after a big night last night. He'll be the DH. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth and playing second base, it's Ronald Torreyes.
And here is Rick Porcello on the season. He's going to be his 26th start. Kind of a reversal of last year's record, 7-14 instead of 14-7. A lot of hits, still not walking anybody. Strikeouts are down a little bit from last year. Let's tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Yeah, reversal of fortune. Last year he won the Cy Young Award and he had the league's best run support. Not so good this year. Run support and defense support is down, and it's not the monster. That's in reference to his home run. He's got a career high 28 home runs given up this year. And the first thing I think, Kenny, is the monster. It's not the monster. He's only given up 12 of his 28 here at home. And finding more barrels, he's definitely got more hard contact off of him this year. Almost a 10% increase this year as opposed to last year.
Well, let's see if the Yankees could move to within 3 games of the first place Red Sox and get to Detroit with a series win. Porcello's ready. Gardner's ready. Let's do it here at Fenway. First pitch is low and inside, and we are underway. Lance Barksdale is the home plate umpire. Dan Iassogna at first. Shane Livensparger is at second, and Trip Gibson is at third.
Yeah, think about Porcello this year as opposed to last year. He's given up the most hits in the league this year. Also, he's allowed the second most runs. Only Derek Holland of the White Sox has allowed more runs than he has. So it's definitely a different type of season for Porcello.
Grounded. First base, Moreland fields and flips to Porcello, and they get the slide in Gardner for the first out. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense behind Porcello. It's presented by our good friends at Geico. Benintendi in left, Bradley in center, and Betts in right. In the infield, Devers, Bogart, Holt, and Moreland. That's third to first. Leon behind the plate. Rick Porcello is on the mound. Well, one batter retired, and that necessitated a trip from Leon to meet with Porcello at the mound.
You know, I think that was about just giving him a little breather after covering first base. I mean, it's early in the game. Devers came over as well.
Aaron Hicks fouls it back.
I used to notice that when David Wells would cover first, somebody would go over and talk to him on the mound for a few seconds before they went back to their position.
Bring an EKG with you.
I hope he's listening.
Yeah, I do too.
Hicks in a little bit of a slide. 1 for his last 15, 7 for 41 in the 10 games off the DL. Somewhat misleading because he's played a big role in a lot of the games that the Yankees have won. Big hits.
And not only big hits, but defensively as well. He's made some good plays. And you know, I remember years ago playing for Roberto Clemente in winter ball. He says there's various ways to help your team when you're not hitting. Play good defense. If you happen to get on base, you can run the base as well.
One thing Porcello's done good is pitch against the Yankees, especially here at Fenway Park.
Swing and a miss.
One thing I noticed about the Red Sox pitching to Hicks in this series, they're going a lot of off speed with him. When they get to 2 strikes, more often than not, it's going to be either a changeup or a slow hook that they try and get him out on. That's something you got to put in your memory bank if you're a hitter.
Here's Aaron Judge, 3 for his last 17, 7 for his last 44. His average now at 285. And he hits a fly ball to center field. Bradley on the track now comes into the grass, makes the play, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. Yankees nothing, and the Boston Red Sox come to bat. And it starts off with Brock Holt, the second baseman, leads off, batting second, playing right field Mookie Betts. Andrew Benintendi in left hits third. Cleaning up the DH, Hanley Ramirez. Rafael Devers, the third baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Mitch Moreland at first base, bats seventh. Batting eighth, and catching, Sandy Leon, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is in center field. And on this sunny day, it's time for Sonny Gray, David.
Indeed it is. And Sonny Gray, don't look at the one-loss record. Don't get me on my soapbox. All the other numbers are good. Job of a starting pitcher is to put your team in a position to win a game. What happens beyond that is out of your control. Let me tell you a little bit more in this pitcher scout report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. Well, you talk about a good first impression. That was a great first impression in New York at Yankee Stadium. Nice ovation when he walked off. All that darting movement, I'm still trying to figure out his grips and what he's throwing. I know it's good, it moves late. And naughty 9, his last 9 starts, he's got a 1.88 ERA, and opposing hitters are hitting $1.75 against him in those 9 starts.
Yeah, I did want that explanation on that last one, naughty 9. I didn't know where you were going.
I just like the word naughty.
Yeah.
Here's Brock Holt. And a strike. Sonny Gray has faced the Red Sox this year on May 18th while he was with the Oakland Athletics. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts in that game.
You got the win.
Now, since June 25th, he's sporting a 1.88 ERA. David gave you all these numbers, and that's first in the American League. That's why the Yankees were so anxious to complete that deal and bring Gray here.
It's kind of, you wouldn't call this really a sunny day. It's kind of a partly sunny. But as far as Sonny pitching in day games this year, he's 4-0 in day games. So this is the right time of day for him.
Strike. 2-2. Yankees are 8-6 in 14 games against the Red Sox. After this game, they have 4 more games remaining. Those are at Yankee Stadium. Chopped slowly toward third, charging Frazier. He gets home. One away. Let's check out the Yankees defense presented by Geico. You've got Gardner in left, Hicks in center, and Judge in right. In the infield, Frazier, Gregorius, Torreyes, and Headley. That's third to first. Sanchez behind the plate, day game after night game, but Joe said that tomorrow's an off day, so he wanted to do that, and on the mound is Sonny Gray. Here's Mookie Betts.
David and I were talking before the game about Mookie Betts, and he has a number. He puts the ball in play on his swings at a better rate than any other player in baseball. Not fouling them back, he puts them in play. 55% of the time when he swings the bat, he puts the ball in play. That's higher than any other player in the game, which tells you there's a lot of swings and misses going on.
Yeah, he breaks it down with 2 strikes.
No.
Just great hand-eye coordination. Mookie Betts, quick, lightning quick on the inner half. Has learned to use the whole field progressively in his young tenure here.
Didn't put that one in play.
He's going to get tested with Sonny Gray's movement.
Yeah, he's got a very sharp breaking ball. It kind of reminds me of the one that David Robertson throws. They're both about the same size out there on the mound.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. 81 degrees, 46% humidity. Wind is 13 miles per hour, but it is a beautiful day for baseball.
See that wind is actually blowing from left to right today. 13 miles per hour. That's a pretty good clip. Gray has that accentuated windup, or very slow. He gathers himself, and then all of a sudden, zoom! Here it comes. So it's like he's trying to lull the hitter asleep. Then all of a sudden, the ball explodes on him.
Yeah, that's a style he's developed recently, really, over the last year and a half. After his arm problems, really trying to stay in control, and he uses it as a timing mechanism.
Just missed. Gray wanted that one.
Another look at this slider just off. Boy, that's quick and late, though, on the movement.
Hit sharply right at Torreyes. Boy, this series, it seems like Torreyes has always been in the right spot. I mean, talk about shifts and putting people in the right spot. He has been there for some hard hit balls.
That goes back to scouting reports. You know, advanced scouts who watch the Red Sox, where the ball is hit most often by certain hitters. And as you're right, Michael, that ball was hit right on the nose. There were several line drives at Torreyes last night.
Here's Andrew Benintendi. He had his 11-game hitting streak snapped last night. 1 for 9 in the first 2 games. And a strike.
Today we have a couple of first-round picks squaring off. Of course, Gray with Oakland back in 2011. And Porcello, 4 years before that, was picked #1 by the Tigers. And teams really like when those #1 picks pay off, get to the big league level. It's not necessarily you have to be a star. They'd like you to be one. But just to get to the big league level and produce goes back to your scouting and development.
Yeah, more do not make it than do in baseball. So hard to project.
Lined over the leaping try of Todd Frazier in the left field. The broken bat single for Benintendi makes a big turn at first, but he'll stay right there.
Well, he had his 11-game hitting streak broken last night, as Michael said, the ball going away, and right off the end of the bat, that's going to snap the bat, but he'll get another bat. You can't always get another hit, so that's Benintendi starts a new hitting streak with his 1-for-1 this afternoon.
They're going off the plate. The pitch was 6 inches outside.
Here's Ramirez. Upstairs, check the swing. 1-0. Ramirez 1 for 7 in the first 2 games.
Yeah, he broke an 0 for 12 with a double last night in the 8th inning. He's trying to get through a series without him being productive.
You can see that Gray will have some difficulty giving you 7 innings of work because his pitches move so much. He's going to throw a lot of pitches per inning. He's already at 20.
A lot of foul offs too because of that movement.
Yeah, the hitters can't square him up.
High fly ball, right field. Judge is there to make the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 1 at Fenway. It's 0-0. Yankees Red Sox on Yes. Brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. What defensive area is more important for a catcher and why? Ball blocking or throwing ability? One of the answers, ball blocking. If you can't effectively block the ball, runners will advance regardless of as to how good your arm may be. Pitch is low to Gregorius as we start the second. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime. Keep the conversation going. Obviously, that question asked because of what happened last night, where essentially David Robertson in the 8th and Dellin Betances in the 9th had to get 4 outs because of strikeouts, wild pitches that Gary Sanchez could not block. But Joe Girardi and Tony Pena, you could see after the game they were talking to him on the bench, and it looked like Sanchez was distraught, really upset. But Joe said today that what they said was, listen, don't get down. You've gotten so much better since we spoke in Cleveland. These things are going to happen. You have to continue to get better. And then they lauded him on the great throw that he made to get Brock Holt. That was a big part of winning the game.
Look, they're going to need Gary Sanchez down the stretch here. Not only that, because sometimes players will take their defense to the offensive side. If they're not playing well defensively, all of a sudden they start to worry about it, and it bothers their hitting. And vice versa. If you don't hit, sometimes your defense doesn't work out.
You know, blocking balls in the dirt and some of the pass balls are harder than ever with the stuff that the Yankee staff has. You try to catch Dellin Betances and that wicked stuff he's throwing, and Robbie with the spinning tight sliders in the dirt. It ain't easy.
Now, Meredith, you spoke to Sanchez last night. He was pretty down.
He really was. And after the game, he said, I realized that game could have gone differently had I not made those plays. Obviously, the pass ball or the wild pitch from Betances and Robertson, he knows the complexion of the game changed. They got out of it, so it worked out in his favor. But you could tell he was definitely wearing his heart on his sleeve when he spoke about it, saying, I know I can do better. I know I can be in a better position for those balls. And Joe Girardi said today, it's evident that he cares. It's a good thing that he's upset about that he wants to get better, that he knows that he's capable of more behind the plate.
Well, here he is at the plate where he does some of his best work. 23 homers and 65 ribbies. And if you look at the starting catchers around Major League Baseball, you could say he might be the best hitting catcher of all. That's how effective he is. He's in the top rankings in every single important offensive category.
And he would have been even higher in those rankings if he hadn't missed a month back in April with an injury.
You tell me this: you do a fantasy draft, and who's the first catcher you taking right now?
It's him.
Grounded to third, Devers. 2 away. Here's Chase Headley, 5 hits in his last 10 at-bats, and 12 for 35.
And he's had a good series. Even his outs have been several hard-hit balls, even though they've been at fielders. But he's got 3 hits in the series.
Well, there's the split and how different it is. First 51, the last 62. High fly ball, left center. On the run is Bradley and Benintendi. That's going to be off the base of the wall. And Headley has himself a 2-out double.
Fenway Park double. It looked like Benintendi and Jackie Bradley Jr. were looking at each other as who's going to make this catch here. And neither one of them eventually got to the ball. It's going to hit off the wall. Camera way, you can see Bradley Jr. dropping back, knows he's going to have to play the carom, gets the ball in quickly, but Headley has a double. And for Headley, that's his 29th double of the year. That tops the Yankees in that category. And he's in scoring position with 2 down.
Yeah, that hit pretty low off of that wall.
Here's Todd Frazier. There was some concern whether or not he'd be able to play today after he was plunked on the leg by Chris Sale. He told Joe Girardi and Steve Donahue he thought that it hit a nerve there. That's why it hurt so much. But they had him undergo tests. He came in today, said he wanted to go.
He's had a great series. Scored 4 times, driven in 3 runs.
Just to give you an idea, I'm fascinated with Fenway Park and the monster. You know, you don't know how deep it is. That ball Headley hit went 350 feet. Just to let you know, that's pretty far down in the gap, or pretty far into the gap. So just to give you an idea how shallow that wall really is.
Now, as a left-handed hitter, you could be late, hit the ball fairly well, and get a lot of hits. I mean, Wade Boggs made a great living, hit the ball the opposite way here at Fenway Park. Used the wall to his advantage.
The 0-2. 1-2.
95.6 miles an hour off of Headley's bat. It went 350 feet. Take the double and run.
First hit for the Yankees. Headley leads off second with 2 outs. A 1-2 count on Frazier. Everybody was leaning and about to leave the field, but the home plate umpire Lance Barksdale said ball.
And so was Sandy Leon, the catcher. If he catches it, he takes a little flinch. He's headed back to the dugout, but nope.
The glove is off the plate. That's what you really have to pay attention to, is where the catcher sets up with his glove.
Off the plate again. More so that time. Count full of 3-2. Tyler Austin's on deck.
Porcello features a lot of movement, that 2-seamer spillover, as you call it, Kenny, and that he wants the catcher's target off the plate. So he'll start it there and try to run it back onto the plate.
And Frazier works a walk. Down in the count, and then ended up working a walk. So here's Tyler Austin. Now, Girardi had a decision to make today. Does he go with Ellsbury, the lefty, against the righty Porcello? Does he stay with Austin, who's been hitting the ball well? He decided to stay with Austin. Now, you might look at the numbers that Joe would have at his disposal and say that Ellsbury's hit Porcello. But then, I mean, you could justify anything. You can twist numbers whichever way you want. He said most of the good numbers happen earlier, not the last couple of years, so that's why he didn't play Ellsbury.
Austin hit the ball hard 3 times last night. Had a solid double to the gap, with a 435-foot home run, and Jackie Bradley robbed him of an extra base hit in center field.
That's exactly it. He's going for the power.
That's why he's in the game today.
He liked that 435-foot blast he hit yesterday. This is what he's going for, right, Kenny?
Yeah, this is what he's thinking. This is Chris Sale he turned around. Not any ordinary pitcher. 435 feet over the monster seats. And that was one of the big blows for the Yankees last night.
Yeah, it's preferably with men on base, like right now.
This is a strong young man. He was thinking 3 more right there.
Always hated it when hitters did that. I'm biased because I'm a pitcher, but
When they did what? Swing and miss?
No, turn back to the umpire. Was that a strike?
No.
Yeah.
Foul back here. And just over the booth.
If I do that on the mound, I'm showing the umpire up, right? If I, hey, you know, where was that? And the umpire gets all huffy and puffy. But a hitter can do it anytime he wants.
Yeah, well,
turn around and swing and miss at a pitch and say, was that a strike?
You know,
Where was that pitch?
Some umpires will say, once you missed it, it was.
Yeah, it's a strike. You swung and missed.
Strike 3. Austin down looking. That was a strike. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Nothing on yes. In 2006, Yankees go to Fenway and sweep a 5-game series. And the Yankees went up into Boston, leading by a game and a half in the American League East, and eventually won the division. It's nice when you can gain 5 games. So here is Rafael Devers to start off the bottom of the second. High fly ball, center field. Hicks back. Track. Makes the play. Wynn took that. And Hicks stayed with it to retire Devers.
You know, there are hitters that go to the plate and they have very quick bat. This youngster does. You can see Hicks trying to get his bearings out there, but all of a sudden, as Michael said, the wind makes it drift towards a little further towards right field. He hauls it in for the out. When you step to the plate and you swing that first pitch and rip it, that's because you have a quick bat. Sometimes it takes a while to ease your way into a bat, see how fast the pitcher's actually throwing. You might foul off his first fastball because you're not quite ready, but he was ready.
Bogarts takes upstairs, 1-0.
Bogart's one of the key at bats in last night's game, up with the bases loaded. The Yankees with that 1-run lead, and David Robertson, as David Cohn would say, worked him over, struck him out.
Been a little bit of a power outage for Bogarts here this year. Just 7 home runs. Only 2 of those at Fenway. Guy who hit 18 last year, you thought, wow, he's going to play wall ball for a while here. And hasn't really worked out that way this year.
For a number of years, he batted third, and Big Poppy batted fourth. And you have a tendency to get pretty good pitches to hit when you have a guy like that behind you.
Now, an afternoon game here at Fenway Park, they close off the bleachers in center field. They put a black tarp over it to increase and better the batter's eye. They feel people sitting up there in the daytime wearing light shirts. The ball would blend in with those shirts. And I have to ask you, Kenny, you've been in that box. Does the hand come out of those seats?
It can, especially with the taller pitchers.
Randy Johnson?
Oh, no. You know, you get anybody about 6'4" or above.
That one was blooped to right field. Torreyes on the run, can't make the play. Judge will get the ball back in, so a bloop single for Bogaerts.
Yeah, that's a little out of Torreyes' range. And even though the ball wasn't very high in the air, it almost hit and stopped right where it landed.
Looked like Torreyes thought he had a beat on it, and then all of a sudden the wind again kind of pushed it away a little bit. And you know, we talk a lot about the wind, but especially here at Fenway because you don't have a big upper deck. So fly balls get up above and the wind can have more of an impact in this old style of stadium.
No, did he have problems with the sun at all? No.
That could have been it as well. Sun and a little breeze, but he looked like he was on it and then it just drifted on him.
Here's Moreland. Got the big hit against Canely on Friday night when Canely tried to get a third straight changeup past him.
It's a low upper deck there. You see fly balls get up above that a lot quicker than you would say at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium.
And Moreland's hit the other night was a pinch hit. And he's been very successful as a pinch hitter the last few years. Best in the major leagues. And we're going back to 2014. He's hitting .459 as a pinch hitter.
Likes to hit against Gray. 6 for 20 against Gray, but 4 of the 6 home runs. Fly ball into left center. Diving play by Hicks, and he took a hit away from Moreland.
Looked like that ball might have been slicing away from him. Lays out. Now the problem might not be the catch. The problem comes when you hit the ground. It can actually dislodge the ball, but in this case, it's deep within the outfielder's glove. Outfielders use bigger gloves than infielders. And one reason why they do it, so balls will stay in there if you hit the turf. We see it on YesBone, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Great play.
Once again, kind of a pull-up and then an extension. Every fielder seems like having trouble picking up the baseball and judging it today. Hicks started and then pulled up and then started again and dove.
Here's Leon. And there's a strike. Wave through that one. 0-2.
As David would say, now we're coming to the work 'em over part of the at bat. No balls and 2 strikes. How are you going to put him away? It's like a fighter on the ropes. You saw that signal by Sanchez with the thumb. That meant throw the ball to first base.
Yeah, Tony Pena wanted that one. Just to check Bogaerts.
One and two.
I think he's got him set up for a nice tight breaking ball down and in.
One, two. 2-2.
He didn't get it close enough to the strike zone. That was the pitch. Years of thinking along with pitchers.
Yeah, Sonny Gray more side to side in his attack rather than up and down.
That one is looped in the left field. It's a base hit. Gardner gets the ball into third. So first and second, 2 outs.
Leon had been 0 for 27 against the Yankees. He finally got a hit.
All right, early big spot for Jackie Bradley Jr. 3 hits and 7 at bats in this series. Bogart's at second, Leon is at first. 2 men out, bottom of the second, 0-0. One and 0. Red Sox have 3 hits against Gray. Two and 0. Red Sox 6 for 16 with runners in scoring position in this series. That one is ripped into right center field. It's going to be a base hit, and it's going to go into the triangle. Bogart scores. Leon scores. Bradley's at third with a 2-run triple, and the Red Sox lead 2-0.
Yeah, Bradley's had himself a good series. That's his 4th hit in 8 at-bats. And he now has 5 runs batted in these 3 games. Something up and out over the plate.
2-0 fastball, very predictable, and that's a triple all the way. And when you hit the triangle, you're going to clear the bases. And with Bradley's speed, this is no doubt. He's going to be standing on third base once this is all done. Even the catcher, Sandy Leon, can score on that one.
Brock Holt takes upstairs, 1-0. So the Red Sox jump out ahead against Sonny Gray and the Yankees. 2 runs in, runner at third with 2 men out. And again, another high pitch inning for Gray, who has 40 here in the second. And a strike. Missed outside. 2-1. 3-1.
Been behind several hitters in this inning and driving up his pitch count.
Yeah, it's one thing to work very deliberately and throw strikes and be very, very cautious with your pitches. It's another thing when you work very deliberately and you're falling behind. It kind of exacerbates the whole situation.
Grounded to first. It's a fair ball. Grabbed there by Headley. Steps on the bag, and that will do it. But the Red Sox get 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 man left on base. We go to the 3rd. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Cody Bellinger left last night's game with a right ankle sprain. Scary. It really looked bad when he had to leave the field, but he might play today off the bench. Detroit Tigers 2-12 record since August 5th, worst in baseball. And Miguel Sano of the Twins left last night's game with left shin soreness.
2 strong young hitters there. You don't want to subtract them from your lineups for any period of time.
Torreyes takes outside from Porcello. Red Sox lead 2-0. In his last 3 starts coming into this one, Porcello has had an embarrassment of riches. Red Sox have scored him 24 runs. But compare that his previous 12 starts, where combined in those 12 starts, they scored him 23 runs. And last year, he was used to that. Last year, he got 7.63 runs per game support. Now, he's in the bottom 5 in the American League. The Red Sox score him 4.31 runs per game. It's made a big difference. That one's looped to short. Right there is Bogarts, 1 away, as Torreyes is down.
Yeah, an example of that, Michael. He's made 3 starts against the Yankees this year. In those 3 starts, the Red Sox scored 1 run. The Yankees won 3-1, 8-0, and 3-0 against them.
And he's pitched well against the Yankees because in 8 starts against the Yankees since becoming a Red Sox, he has a 2.84 ERA. And here at Fenway against the Yankees, he has a 1.51 ERA in 5 starts. Strike to Gardner.
So in this game, the Red Sox have scored more runs for him than they did in the previous 3 starts this year.
One thing he always does well is throw strikes.
Yeah.
Not any free passes. One of the best control artists in the big leagues.
1-2. Ground ball in the hole, a base hit for Gardner. Now a 4-game hitting streak, and he's 7 for his last 18.
Yeah, he's had a good series. 6 hits here at Fenway Park. He's been on base 7 times.
He's getting that slashing opposite field stroke down again.
And you also, not only that, but then when they try and pitch him inside, he can jump you in there if you're not careful. He's got a career high 19 home runs, but right now here at Fenway, it's been more of this type of hit. See that fastball up, moving away from it. He just goes right with it, slashes it through the hole for a base hit. Tony Gwynn special.
Hicks takes outside, 1-0. He struck out in the first inning, and Kenny mentioned they've been throwing a lot of breaking balls. He's 1 for his last 16. One and one.
He foul tipped that one into the glove. Had a good swing at it, but I think it's your duty as a hitter to try and figure out what certain teams try and do to you. Mostly every team tries to pitch you the same way to get you out. A different type of pitchers might feel a little stronger. Their breaking balls might be better than some others.
Just missed outside, 2-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Tripp Gibson.
Tripp Gibson's hearing it from the Yankee bench.
Got rabbit ears too. You see him pop his head right in the dugout.
Right away he turned.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's
Yankee bench had a beef there. And I'm pretty liberal with check swings.
I don't think they ever swing.
You can always tell a young umpire, you know, he's going to get tested. And, you know, the first time you hear something from the bench, it's always going to happen. You snap your head over there and look at the dugout. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Now you're going to hear more.
They got him. They picked off Gardner. And he's holding his hand up to tell the Yankee dugout, I'm in here.
And not only he did, but so did Tony Pena. So they both feel that he is actually safe.
And they're right.
And he is safe.
Not even close.
And Joe Girardi is going to challenge the call.
I'll tell you what, it was a good quick move by Porcello, though, who does have a very good move for a right-hander. And Gardner was leaning. He was thinking about going.
Well, that's why you slide into the outside part of the bag. So Gardner saved it at the end there. He looked out, but Gardner went to the end of the bag and got there.
I think even a Red Sox fan saw on the replay on the big board here, on the video board, that he was in there.
And the call is overturned. The man who made the call was the crew chief, Dan Iassogna.
Talking to himself. Can't believe it. looked out, but he wasn't.
2-2. Just missed with the off-speed pitch. 73 miles an hour.
Yeah, once again, with 2 strikes, they start to, yeah, it was up and in for a ball. Check to swing that time.
Runner goes. Strike 3. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Gardner. And Hicks is down looking. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Judge with Gardner in scoring position.
Yeah, 16 stolen bases now, and this is that spillover fastball we were talking about. It starts just off the corner, then swings back over for the call strike. You see Leon following through on the throw to second base, but Gardner in there easily. No need to review that one.
From almost out at first to now stealing second, and you're right, Kenny. That pitch ended up right down the middle that Hicks took for a called third strike.
Judge swings and misses. Had a fly ball to center field in the first inning. Gardner at second. 2 men out. Pitch. The other way. 0-2. Joe again was asked today. Joe Girardi was asked, is Judge's struggles attributable to being pitched differently, and Girardi insists that it's mechanical. And he said he's very close. He said we've seen better things out of him. The 0-2 just missed. 1-2.
3 straight fastballs from Porcello. The last one, 0-2 count. He's going for the outside corner or nothing. And just off.
Well, that's going to be the test all day. Porcello's going to be there all day. And he's going to challenge the home plate umpire to call it.
Check the swing, and Iasonia agrees. 2-2.
You can see John Farrell. And it's up and away.
Reminds me of a time I used to talk to Derwood Merrill, the old umpire, and ask him, where was that pitch? And he'd say, I don't know.
Derwood.
There was something about it I didn't like.
From Hooks, Texas.
Sometimes that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Something about it I didn't like.
Where was that pitch? I don't know. It was just something that I didn't like about that one.
Take a look at some of these pitches that have been in question from Lance Barksdale, the home plate umpire. That was a ball, and here's the pitch to Tyler Austin. Same pitch, and that's a strike.
Grounded to second. Nice hop for Holt, and that will do it. As Gardner stranded, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 2-0 Red Sox.
Morakovitz, and it's time for this afternoon's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Greg Bird is tearing it up on his rehab assignment, 429 average, a couple of hits yesterday again, and Joe Girardi was once again asked prior to the game when Greg Bird will rejoin the team, and he said he has not seen him in person, although he has seen video, but it's really up to the front office when they feel Greg Bird is ready. But Michael, I have to imagine if he continues to hit like this, they're going to make a move soon.
I will tell you this, Meredith, I would agree with you, but they do have a little bit of a problem. It's a good problem to have. How do you get him in the lineup?
And that's just it, Michael. I asked Joe Girardi several times, will he be your everyday first baseman? Do you view him as a first baseman or a DH? And he said he is a first baseman, but there will need to be decisions made between him and Chase Headley. And as we know, Headley has been very good since the All-Star break, both defensively and offensively. So he's going to have some decisions to be made. And oftentimes these things work themselves out. And I think that's why Joe really isn't tipping his hand, not knowing exactly what the future will hold.
It's smart of him not to do that, because you never know if someone's going to get hurt, and then why would you have to put in their mind that they were going to go to the bench if you never had to tell them anyway? Ground ball is short, and they get Betts. And Kenny, it's not just is Headley going to sit?
Yeah.
Headley's been hitting so well, they can move him to third. Remember, he's the third baseman. Then does Todd Frazier
sit? And he's starting to hit the ball a little bit better. But those numbers that we saw from Bird are reminiscent of what he was doing in spring training before the injury.
Oh, he might have been one of the top 5 players in all of Major League Baseball in spring training.
Obviously, he had, 8 home runs?
Benintendi fouls it back.
Well, that is a bit of a quandary. I mean, Greg Bird hasn't played really for 2 years. Girardi mentioned that, as far as we want to make sure, and then when we get him back in here. You can't tell till you see with your own eyes. Girardi mentioned that as well.
And the people that will make those decisions have people there watching. Because it's funny, Joe Girardi gets asked because he's the one who meets the media every day. He's not deciding when Greg Bird gets called up.
El Pedriga, the manager, files reports every game, after every game.
And a lot of it ties into Holiday. When does he get back? Because, quite frankly, Headley might be slightly better first baseman than Bird is. I mean, Bird's a really good hitter, and he struggles at first base. And that's something that he's going to have to work on. Headley's made a nice transition from third to first. Popped up. Long run for Todd Frazier. And he can't get there. And that ball falls in a product of a shift. He's just too far away. Almost, where he starts from.
Yeah, almost the shortstop position, really.
He checks his swing.
Thinking the young stars on the Red Sox and Benintendi and Devers, and they have some other players a little bit more experienced, but these two guys are the newest of the Red Sox young players. They're both left-handed hitters. The newest of the Yankee young players are Judge and Sanchez, and they're right-handed hitters. How would they play in each other's ballparks at home? that goes back to the proposed trade of Joe DiMaggio for Ted Williams, which did not happen. That might have been the biggest trade in baseball history if it had gone down.
It kind of did go down on a cocktail napkin and got torn up.
Popped up. Sanchez. And it's in the seats over the screen.
The business of baseball is done a little differently now than after hours on a cocktail napkin.
More on cell phones now. They don't have to be face to face. You can call, you can get in touch with anybody anywhere, anytime.
One out into the third inning, and Gray's at 55 pitches. And David, you mentioned this. His stuff is good, and it just gets fouled off a lot.
And he never gives in. He's very stubborn. You know, the deliberate delivery, the time in between pitches. That stubbornness serves him well on his home run rate. That's why his home run rate is down. He just will not give in, but it hurts him on his pitch count and his pace of play.
Fly ball down the left field line. Gardner's there, and he makes the play for the second out.
Seems like every ball in the air today, outfielders are like jumping at, they're overrunning just a bit. Even Gardner down the line there. That's always been tough down the left field line here. The ball always tends to drift back into the area of play. But every ball in the air, you get, boy, he's kind of jumping, leaping for. And I mean, obviously he easily made that play, but it's nothing's a sure thing today, it seems like.
Maybe a combination of the sun and the wind.
I really thought Torreyes on the 2-run inning before the Bradley Jr. Triple, I thought he really drifted on that ball. Like, didn't get a good read on it.
That got Sanchez. Lance Barksdale checking on him, and even though home plate's clean, he's going to dust it off a little more after this shot to the mask and helmet. Whew, man.
Oh, 2 on Ramirez. This will be the 60th pitch of the game for Gray. This is what I've noticed from him so far, David. 0-2. He's going to nibble for 3 more pitches. He wants you to chase, and then all of a sudden it's 3-2. As you said, very deliberate and somewhat stubborn.
Very stubborn. It serves him well as far as not giving up long home runs. When he was good at Yankee Stadium in his debut, he was putting away hitters a little better clip.
Now 2-2.
You know, this is what drives up pitch counts too, all the foul balls.
Fielders are getting antsy.
Not as many swings and misses.
Another foul ball.
Yeah.
Not all of it is Sonny Gray's, fault. Part of it is just his stuff. I've seen 3 foul balls already here.
Gardner's well off the line in left center field. This is a right-handed hitter at the plate. He's more towards the gap.
And so he goes from 0-2 to 3-2.
And Hicks is towards right center, and you've got Judge playing about straight away. So they expect Ramirez to hit the ball in the air the other way, and he flew out to right field his first time up. A little unusual setup there.
4th full count for Sonny Gray. And he deals. And it's right down the line where Kenny was talking about, up against the wall, and the carom gets past Gardner, and that allows Ramirez to get an easy double.
I think one of the reasons they shift that way, because if he hits the ball well to left field, you're not going to get it anyway. And I don't think Gardner would have gotten that one. Even if it was straight away left field, it would have been a difficult play for him to get in front of this one. It was hit that hard.
It's the ricochet that hurt. He could have held him to a single.
Yeah.
We had to run and try to gauge where the ricochet of the wall is going to come, and he overruns it. And that little 2-foot mistake right there allowed Ramirez easily to get into second.
Here's Devers. Devers put his name alongside Babe Ruth yesterday. He has homered in 3 straight games against the Yankees. And the first 20-year-old or younger player to do that since Babe Ruth in 1915. He is also the first major league hitter ever with 8 home runs in his first 20 games, all before age 21.
Yeah, he can't even go out and celebrate.
(2-0), 3-0. And even if Gray doesn't allow a run here, your pitch count is so high, they're going to intentionally walk him with the 4th ball. Your pitch count is so high that you're just not going to be around past the 5th inning, as Larry Rothschild will go out and talk with Gray. So also giving Gray a little bit of a breather here. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 2 runs in the second for the Red Sox, a single by Bogaerts, a single by Leon with 2 outs. That put runners on first and second, and then Jackie Bradley Jr. triples into the triangle out there in right center, and that drives home 2. Now with 2 outs here in the third, Ramirez doubled off the Green Monster, and Devers has been intentionally walked. And that brings up Bogaerts. .25 pitches this inning. 13 have been fouled off.
So not quite able to put the hitters away with the 2 strikes.
This will be his 70th pitch. Snap throw to first. How about that? Devers made a mistake as Sanchez gunned him down with a strong throw to Headley, and that gets Gray out of the inning. Let's see if the Red Sox are going to challenge this.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
And he's out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the fourth. By Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. The Yankees are off to Detroit after the game. Tomorrow's an off day, then 3 games in Detroit. Thursday afternoon, 1:10 start. And then a homestand begins. It's a long one, too. You got Seattle coming in. Finish it up with 4 games against Boston in between those 2 series. Cleveland. So all 3 series, teams have their chances, and no easy games for the Yankees. In fact, if you look at it, the 3 games against Detroit might be the last series that they play where a team really doesn't have a chance.
I think Mr. Devers learned a lesson. Don't stray too far with Sanchez behind the plate.
The Yankees deserve credit. That was a preset play, you know, with Headley playing behind. So that was great timing, great execution, and a rookie getting caught flat-footed.
Two and two.
That's usually something that only happens once in your career.
Drilled to right field. Betts is there, and he makes the play to retire Gregorius.
Didi has hit Porcello well this year. He's hit a couple home runs off him. And both of them at no, one here and one in at Yankee Stadium.
Here's Gary Sanchez. Grounded to third his first time up. Breaking ball, no bite upstairs. 1-0. Devers deep at third, fairly close to the line. Against Porcello, though, they're not playing him dead pull. They usually have 3 infielders on the left side. But they have the second baseman, Holt, close to his normal position. Could not hold up. Count 2-1. Along with David Cohn, Ken Singleton, and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay, and we really do thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. We're in the 4th inning. Boston leads the Yankees 2-0, the rubber game of this 3-game set. 2-2 on Sanchez. Three and two.
Also pitch number 65 coming on this side with Porcello.
And the Red Sox bullpen has not been shut down against the Yankees. And Sanchez works a 1-out walk, bringing up Headley. Headley double to left center. That was in the 2nd inning. 6 for his last 11. Red hot. Pitch upstairs.
And part of being red hot is not chasing pitches out of the strike zone when they try and tease you, particularly that breaking ball down and in. Try and hold off of it. Get ahead on counts like he is right now. Good swing.
Oh, quite a play by a fan in the stands. Oh. And a nice attempt by another.
I hope he was familiar with that person next to him.
He is now.
Early in the season, Headley would take advantage of these situations, particularly earlier in the count than now. But the left side of the infield is open. He got off to a great start in April by going the other way. But he is in a different mode right now. He's been swinging about well and thinking about more power. Ran a double at the gap last time up. He laid down a couple of bunts, if I remember correctly.
So Headley walks, first and second, 1 man out. And that brings up Todd Frazier and brings us to the Jeep hitters scouting report.
Yes, here we go. Todd Frazier. Go back to 2007, #1 draft pick of the Cincinnati Reds. Spent several good years with the Reds, and while he was at Rutgers, Jersey boy set the home run record for the school and broke his older brother's record in doing so. And he and Josh Donaldson are the only third baseman in the last 4 years that hit at least 20 home runs in each season. And Frazier hit number 20 in the first game of this series. But today we find out that Donaldson's playing shortstop and Jose Bautista playing third base against the Cubs because there's no DH in the line. And Troy Tulowitzki's out on the disabled list. So Donaldson started at shortstop today for the first time in his career.
So here's Tom's Rivers South against Seton Hall Prep. Little Jersey matchup. Porcello against Frazier.
Just a couple of tolls down the turnpike.
Classic Fenway game where you just kind of standing around and one swing of the bat changes everything, and that's what Frazier's looking for here. Just something out, down, preferably and out over the plate that he can lift.
Homered in the first 2 games of this series, Frazier.
Got one thing in mind with this swing. It's a little up. You see he's underneath it. Todd Frazier more of a good low ball hitter than a high ball hitter, and that was just kind of a high slider that he was just under a bit.
Popped up left side. Devers near the seats. Runs out of room. So 1-2, first and second, 1 man out. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Boston.
You know, part of the thing with the Red Sox and Yankees, Michael, it just every pitch seems so magnified. You get into a pennant race, every pitcher's trying to be so careful, trying to hit the corner and make the perfect pitch with every pitch. Both starting pitchers in that mode today.
Fouled it back.
Understandable. At Fenway Park, one little mistake over the plate changes the whole game. You see the pace of play here is really on both sides now. Porcello, 75 pitches here. Top of the 4th. We've seen Sonny Gray, you know, all the foul balls, shooting for the corners with every pitch.
Popped up. Moreland makes the play. They say it was in fair territory. 2 outs.
Talked about Porcello's grandfather played for the Red Sox back in 1947. I know, Kenny, you mentioned it. His grandfather, Sam Dente, played from 47 to 55, and his 2 everyday seasons were with Washington. Struck out 10 times one year. You know, I mean, it was just put the ball in play. Pitchers threw the ball over the plate. Hitters swung the bat. Different game now.
Tyler Austin swings and misses. 0-1.
Even when I broke in, Kenny, I remember hearing cat calls from the dugout, bench jockeying. Challenge me. Throw me a fastball. There was more of a macho kind of mentality back then. Now it's a breaking ball mentality. Trick him.
0-2.
Not saying that's good or bad. It's just the way it is. You know, back then there was more of a throw it over the plate and challenge me with your best fastball. Now, not so much. Pitching against the Phillies one day, Mike Schmidt, I threw him a 3-1 breaking ball to walk him, and he walked down the line, and I can't repeat what he said to me. Chicken, fill in the blank.
Swing and a miss. Austin down on strike. So the Yankees don't take advantage of the 2 walks. They strand 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-0 Boston. them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Yankees baseball on Yes with you wherever you go.
Now that young lady you see is one of the ball girls here at Fenway Park. Her name is Katie Burke, and you know, hockey is big in this part of the country, and she was a #1 draft pick of the Boston Pride in the National Women's Hockey League. So good luck to her in her career.
Fired up about something.
Yeah, well, I got a few months before it's hockey season around here.
So lefty too.
Audi scoreboard 2-0 Boston over the Yanks. Bogarts, Moreland, and Leon.
Both of these pitchers could use quick innings here to keep those pitch counts down. Last inning, Sanchez did Sonny Gray a solid by picking off Devers at first base to end the inning quickly, or even more quickly than it was. He was working hard.
Well, you know, you've got two stubborn pitchers that are shooting for the corners, and you've got an umpire, and I'm not getting on his strike zone, but is more of a hitter-friendly umpire. He's got a tight strike zone. You got two pitchers that have good movement that are shooting for the corners. That's why you have this kind of lazy pace of play working. It all fits together.
Two and two.
Every once in a while, a pitcher will grant a hitter visitation rights. Get one up and in. Don't be hanging out over that corner. And that was primarily because Bogarts fouled that previous pitch off to the right. A lot of territorial struggle up there for those, what is it, 17 inches home plate.
What Nolan Ryan used to say, the outside corner is mine. You reach out over there and you hit a home run, then you're going to get that little wake-up call the next time up. The book on Sonny Gray was before his recent arm injuries, and he's just kind of getting back to his old self. Was his slider hasn't really come back to full strength. When he first broke in with Oakland, that was his put-away pitch. Devastating curve slider combination, and we saw a little bit of that in his last start with some of the strikeouts, but I don't think he's fully all the way back with his breaking stuff that the way he once was when he first broke in.
Grounded to Todd Frazier. Fires the first, then they get Bogarts. One away.
Well, Sonny Gray missed the first part of the season. I don't think it was arm injury. I think it was back spasms, and didn't really get going until May of this season. And that's when he faced the Red Sox May 18th in Oakland and beat them. He had 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Oakland won that game 8-3. Now, he did give up a home run in that game, and it was to the guy up there now, Mitch Moreland.
About one start before the trade that brought Sonny Gray here, where he gave an interview and talked about he was just now getting the feeling back of being able to manipulate the baseball, that the ball felt good in his hand again. He was able to spin it the way he wanted to. Watch Sonny Gray back in his first couple of years with Oakland. Big devastating breaking ball. Both a curve and a slider. A lot of break to it. A real downer. Seeing a lot of side-to-side movement. Two-seamers, four-seamers. Good, crisp, darting movement, but not that real downer breaking ball that he was noted for his first couple years with Oakland.
Two and one.
That's what gave him separation in his pitches, velocity-wise. Today, you're seeing, everything from 90 to 95 and an occasional 86-mile-an-hour slider. One of the first ones right there, right on cue at 82 miles an hour. More of a curveball. And a swing and a miss.
Not only does he, he throws that curve, but it's a sharp one. It just really snaps. And those are the ones that the hitters have trouble getting underneath to hit in the air.
That last pitch right there has been underutilized today so far.
Ground ball up the middle, moving smoothly to the glove side. Gregorius. 2 away. Commemorate the inaugural Players Weekend, August 25th through August 27th at MLBshop.com with limited edition Yankees jerseys and tees featuring player-picked nicknames. Wear the gear the players will wear on field next weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com.
That's going to be a cool weekend. Yankee players have never worn anything but the numbers on the back of their uniforms. Would you have gone with Coney?
No, dirtbag, definitely. That's the best one. I've thought of this a lot. I thought, you'd be singing, right?
Yeah, either that or they used to call me 2-9.
What about Michael?
The Caster.
See ya? How about no condiments? I've thought about this way too much, Michael.
You have given it a lot of thought.
More than I should have.
I can see Caster.
Those are some of the Yankees names. Kraken for Sanchez. Red Thunder for Clint Frazier.
How about an all-starling for Castro?
Gardner for Gardner. Three and 0. And Leon works a walk.
Yeah, one of the interesting things this afternoon for Sonny Gray. Now, he's only walked 2, but he hasn't struck out about it yet. And usually he's one of these strikeout pitchers that can put people away. And that's one reason why his pitch count is up today, because a lot of those 2-strike pitchers are being fouled off. And he has to work a little harder to get the hitters out.
Yeah, he hasn't had his good breaking stuff today. Good velocity, good movement.
The eclipse isn't until tomorrow. It's not today. That's Brian Mitchell and Mike Harkey. And they say don't look at it with just plain sunglasses. It's not good for your eyes.
The 0-1. 1-1. Grounded to first. Grabbed there by Headley. Steps on the bag to retire Bradley, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We played 4. It's 2-0 Boston. Must be all thrown off because, you know, he usually gives us an update going to the 5th inning, but he usually doesn't have to wait 2 hours to give us that update. So a slow-paced game to say the least, just 2 runs on the board. And Ronald Torreyes will lead off against Porcello. The first pitch is a strike. GMC scoreboard 2-0 Red Sox. Humpback line drive by Torreyes to Bogarts in the 3rd inning. That was about a 52-foot pitch.
That barely made the dirt. It was hitting the grass in front of home plate.
Can't get hurt down there. Unless Vladimir Guerrero swinging.
Well, he would get a hit on this pitch.
Grounded to short. Nice hop for Bogarts. One away.
Speaking of Vladimir Guerrero, his son, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., might be the #1 prospect in baseball this offseason. Once all these other rookies graduate past rookie status. But he is some kind of player on the come.
He's in the Toronto system, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got that hitting gene.
If he throws like his dad, too, he's okay.
Dad had a rocket.
Yeah, he did.
There's Brett Gardner. He's 1 for 2. Also has a stolen base. The Yankees would like to push Porcello's pitch count up to about 100 this inning, and then they'll deal with the bullpen. He's at 85 right now with 1 out. That one's driven down the right field line. That ball is gone around the pesky pole. A home run for Gardner. It's his 20th of the year. Yankees are on the board. It's 2-1 Red Sox.
Well, we mentioned earlier how he'd been hitting the ball in left field, but every once in a while you try and come in and he'll jump you. Number 20. Each one he hits is a career high, but that's a nice round number for an outfielder. 20 home runs. Yeah, that one was meant to be pulled. Got the barrel of the bat, pulls it down the right field line. Right in the front row. Got the max out of this one, didn't he? And the Yankees are on the board.
A hooking line drive that was tailor-made for the pesky pole right there.
Pitch inside to Hicks.
Another look at it, and he's hustling. Not sure if it's going to be high enough, but right here he can break it down.
One and one, so the Yankees finally on the board with the Gardner home run, and now it's 2-1. It has been this sort of series. Real nail-biting quality to it.
Well, we mentioned in our open how close all of these games have been, just the whole season. It's something you would expect between these two teams.
Just got a piece for Hicks to stay alive there.
Yeah, Leon came up with the ball, but I think it hit in the dirt before he caught it. This, once again, another off-speed pitch to Hicks with a couple of strikes.
Something he did so well in the first half before his injury of laying off of that.
Broken back, ground ball to first. Moreland will beat Hicks to the bag. 2 away. A lot on the line in these series, and the Red Sox lead the Yankees by 4 games. Orioles 10.5 out, and the Rays really have been struggling of late. And the Blue Jays, they're 11.5 out in the East, but every team after the Red Sox definitely alive in the wild card. And the Yankees lead the first wild card. So here's Aaron Judge. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Porcello deals. And there's a fastball strike, so quickly up in the count, 0-2 to Judge. Judge with a fly ball to center and a ground ball to second. That bird is risking everything.
Well, the Yankees are expecting a bird, but not that one.
That's prime pickings right there, all those sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
We're in his habitat.
It's also prime pickings for a hard line drive off the bat of Judge. Popped up. Moreland makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get on the board finally. A home run by Brett Gardner wraps around the pesky pole. A Boston Red Sox home run to right field. His 20th of the year. We're halfway through. 2-1 Red Sox. 28th World Championship with a Chase for 28 ticket package. Get 7 games for the 2017 regular season at Flex Pack pricing. The opportunity to purchase 2017 Yankees postseason tickets and full season tickets for the 2018 regular season. Buy your Chase for 28 ticket package today. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to Yankees.com/Chase for 28. Brock Holt leads off the bottom of the 5th and takes a strike from Gray.
Few moments here. It's not going to be exactly eclipse-like, but the shadow's going to cross home plate. Might get a little difficult for the hitters to deal with the pitchers from the mound.
Base hit, right field. I just watched Judge field that ball, Ken.
Tell me.
And, I mean, we're all told, those that haven't played the game at this level, you can't take your offense out to the field. Is he thinking about an 0 for 3 today and all the slumping he's been doing?
You shouldn't be. I mean,
is it hard?
Yeah. Usually you think about it more after the game's over.
Right.
Yeah, and then how am I going to get out of this? But I think every hitter, no matter if you're going well or if you're struggling, the next at bat could be the best one I've ever had. I think that's the way you got to feel. Even if you hit one 500 feet, you got to feel. I can hit one 520.
1-0 on Betts, who's 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls today. Strike. Red Sox are 39-22 here at Fenway. Only the Dodgers, who are winning at a 785 clip, have a better home record than the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have won 9 of their last 11 here at Fenway. And this is a very important stretch for the Red Sox because 26 of their next 40 games will be against the American League East.
Been a tough day for Sonny Gray, even though he's only got 2 runs up so far. Looking for a ground ball here. Wow. It's been a tight strike zone, too. Just a little bit. A lot of pitches like this on both sides today.
I know pitchers in the past will stare in at umpires. Just hold the ball and stare at them.
That's the way those calls have gone all day.
Foul back here. Just under the booth.
You know who's good at that? Fergie Jenkins. He didn't get a strike that he thought he should get. He'd just hold the ball and just stare in at the umpire. Like I said, do you know who's out here? And I think he's one of the only pitchers to strike out 3,000 and walk less than 1,000. He had impeccable control.
Yes, he did. Throw that slider in his sleep for a strike on the black.
Runner goes. That one's popped up. Todd Frazier says, I got it. And he makes the play for the first out. Benintendi takes outside. Two and 0. One more, and he's at 100. Now, if they institute the pitch clock that we all expect them to do next year, Sonny Gray's really going to have to adjust because he takes a lot of time between pitches.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that David Price is not pitching for the Red Sox today because he takes a long time too.
Must be a Vanderbilt thing. 2-0. That was a base hit to left field. Hope will stop at second as Gardner gets the ball into Gregorius.
Benintendi. Not really an inside-out swing, but he just slashes it through the hole in the left field for the base. This young man's a good hitter. Second hit today. He had 11-game hitter streak broken yesterday, so was he hitting 11 out of his last 12? Yep, he's a solid player.
One of the few curveballs that Sonny Gray's thrown, that one just kind of rolled in there. That's a pitch he's missed today, and that's what's made his day harder and more difficult. Adam Warren is ready at this point.
You saw Sanchez go out to talk to Sonny. Was that just a stall for time? I think Adam Warren's ready. He's just standing around out there.
Well, you tempting fate having a struggling Gray deal to Ramirez right here.
Joe's getting near that top step.
He's thinking about maybe just giving Gray a chance for one more ground ball.
There's a strike.
Yankee killer Rafael Devers on deck.
You gonna give him that already?
I guess it's a short sample size. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit there.
He's only played 20 games in the big leagues. I will admit he's off to a good start, though.
He's already surpassed their last third baseman's production in those 20 games. Pablo Sandoval.
The 0-2.
Gardner not quite as far off the line as he was last time with Ramirez up, but he's still over towards that gap.
Ripped into center field. Going back is Hicks, and he makes the play. Runner stay put. Hicks had to reach up at the last moment and haul it in for out number 2.
Yeah, toughest play for the outfielders. That line drive right at you. There's no angle to go after the ball. You have to get back as quickly as you can. And right at the end, he has to leap and bring it in. Then gets the ball back in. Holt was halfway. He thought the ball gets over his head, he's going to score. That's why he didn't tag up. And plus, this is the second out. Outstanding play at the end there. That ball almost got over him. That would have been at least one more run.
That ball was absolutely hammered off of Ramirez's bat.
Ooh. Whatever that is, that got hammered too.
And here is Devers. Fly ball to center and was intentionally walked. Missed outside. Eight for 19 against the Yankees in 5 games, 3 homers and 6 ribbies. Also 4 for 11 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. The Yankees will get him. A nice hop for Torreyes. And Gray works through 5 and works out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the 6th, 2-1 Sox. Brought to you in part by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com. By City MD. When you need a doctor, just walk into City MD Urgent Care. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. We go to the 6th inning. Didi Gregorius leads off. And the first pitch is low. No, it's called the strike. 0-1. Porcello still out there. That was his 96th pitch. Gregorius is 0 for 2. That one is ripped into right center field. Long run for Bradley. And he makes the play. Boy, he covered a lot of ground to haul that in.
Yeah, David mentioned that the other night, or last night. To get a ball between Jackie Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts, it's going to have to be scalded. This one had too much airtime. And Jackie Bradley Jr. was there to run it down. Nice running catch. Oh, you're right. He did go a long way.
Here's Gary Sanchez. He's 0 for 1 with a walk, grounded to 3rd, and then walked in the 4th inning. Fly ball. Left field, Benintendi is there. That makes the play. Now this was Hanley Ramirez's reaction after Hicks made that catch. I don't exactly know what he's doing. Well, Hanley Ramirez is a great run producer, and he just has 46 runs batted in this year. Hit the ball very hard, and it didn't get anything done. There's a strike. Gotta be frustrated.
A little Paul O'Neill in there. I've seen that before. Just doesn't help, right, Kenny? I mean, he did everything he had to do. He sculled it. It was a perfect swing. He executed and did what he had to do and didn't get the result.
They're going to catch some of your Rockets. It happens.
It's hard not to get frustrated, I'm sure. The converse for the pitcher is you break a bat. You just make a perfect pitch and saw a hitter off, and he blips in a double.
The problem today for Ramirez, he's the DH, and he gets to sit there and think about it instead of going out to a position.
Ground ball. Holt gets Headley, and Porcello works a 1-2-3 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Red Sox lead the Yankees 2-1. The FC is surging towards a top playoff spot. Later today on Yes, the boys in blue are back in the Bronx to battle the New England Revolution. Coverage begins at 6, presented by Etihad Airways. Right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees have a new pitcher. The pitch count monster got Sonny Gray, so they will go to Adam Warren. Warren, this is his 42nd game.
Worked here last night. Gave up a home run to Devers. Two-thirds of an inning, 2 strikeouts last night.
Be interesting at this point whether we see Chapman in some form or another today in this game. Girardi what he's thinking in a 2-1 ball game?
If he's going to ease him back in, I don't think it'll be in a 2-1 ball game. I think it would be one way or the other, big lead or falling behind by a lot. Good pitch. Ooh.
Look at that.
You're all right. Tony, I'll never doubt you again.
It's a matter of need. Like Michael said before the game, you can't hide guys. You know, you
can't wear the other guys out either.
This is a dangerous proposition, though, because if he's still struggling, you're in this game, and all of a sudden you could be out of this game. I was a little surprised. I wonder if you guys feel this way. They had the perfect opportunity to have him hit the reset button and put him on the DL just for 10 days because he obviously suffered something that bothered him at the end of that Met game. And there was a perfect excuse just to give him 10 days to work on things on the side. But they decided not to do that. Fly ball to Hicks, one away.
Well, the problems that Chapman has had cannot be worked out on the side. They can only be worked out in the game. So if he's healthy, he's healthy. But I agree, Michael. We saw him grimace in that game, a little slight hamstring or whatever, but
he's got to make better pitches.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
This isn't about side sessions.
How about a mental reset?
Well, the best mental reset is having success in a game.
Yeah, we all need that, though.
It's debatable. Certainly, you could prosecute both sides of that and say, you know what, just take a break for 10 days and we'll see you later.
But you got to give the Yankees some credit here because, you know, they're playing by the rules. He's not hurt. If he's not hurt, he doesn't go on the DL. He said he was fine.
This is the tough part. This is the dog days before the rosters expand September 1st. This is when you really grind through. Relievers have been used a lot. Starters start to wear down a bit.
There are different times during the season when you need to get like your second and third win, whether you're a position player or a pitcher. And they don't call these the dog days for nothing. I mean, they just get down near the end. People are getting a little winded, a little tired. There's little bumps and bruises that don't heal quite as quickly. And you just grind through it. That's why I feel when a team wins in a baseball season, you win the champion, you have earned it. You win the championship.
Strike. 3-2.
It is a long grind.
Right to the glove. Boy, right on the borderline, down and away. Look at Lance Barksdale. It took him a while. He's been reluctant to raise that right arm. He did it reluctantly right there.
Served into left field, a base hit for Moreland. So 1-out single, and that's going to bring up Sandy Leon.
Maybe Joe Girardi's waiting to bring Chapman in as the shadows get maybe halfway. And so that might give him a little help. As you can see, the hitters are starting to have to deal with it.
And that one gets past Gary Sanchez as Moreland will go to second. No, now they're saying it's a foul ball. I think that's what Lance Barksdale is signaling.
Something might have happened to the ball when it got back to the screen.
Yeah, maybe it went into the rotating signboard. Let's see.
Get another look at it here. There's the ball getting away and then getting stuck underneath the.
So wild pitch. And there's a strike to Leon.
And once again, it looked like Sanchez was a little late to get into the block position there. You know, the sliders in the dirt are not the easiest things to block, but Sanchez can do a better job of getting ready, getting down in that position a little quicker.
You know, difficult for the hitter to see, maybe for the catcher as well, but at least the catcher knows what's coming and can anticipate getting down on a pitch in the dirt.
Well, Adam Warren doesn't throw a lot of sliders in the dirt per se, but certainly you love to see your catchers anticipate breaking stuff in the dirt and get into that block position with the glove on the ground.
One and two count on Leon. Now time is called. Moreland leads off second. And the pitch. Grounded up the middle. Gregorius will get Leon as Moreland moves to third.
Didi's showing off that strong arm and the ability to throw from multiple positions as shortstops have to do from time to time. Kind of underhand flip that ball with something on it to first base.
Yeah, and then the Yankees shift. He's playing the role of second baseman on this one. Had to cover some ground to get there. What would normally be an easy ground ball to second base.
There's Jackie Bradley Jr. Kind of strange to have Chapman up and not bring him in to face Jackie Bradley Jr.
Might be thinking about Chapman for the 7th inning, you know, unless Adam Warren got into trouble here with his pitch count after having pitched last night as well.
Two and 0. So much of baseball is interconnected one game to the next. That last game at Citi Field impacted the way Joe managed that game on Friday against the Red Sox. Yankees might have won. That one is lined into right field, and it's in front of Judge for a base hit, scoring Moreland. So Bradley picks up an RBI single, and it's 3-1 Red Sox.
Yeah, he's been a thorn in the Yankees' side in this series. They've had trouble getting him out, particularly with runners in scoring position.
Girardi will signal for Chapman with Holt due up. Red Sox have a 2-run lead. They're up 3-1. was on Friday night, and it was not good. Double steal. He didn't pay any attention at all to the runners. Then he gives up this hit and does not back up, which drew the ire of Joe Girardi. Came out to the mound and had a spirited discussion with his then closer. The next day he said that Chapman would not be closing, but they plan to get him back to that point and work things out. This is the year Chapman's had a very unusual 4.29 ERA. So we will see how he does here against Brock Holt.
And for a closer, walk numbers a little high too. It's about 1 walk every 2 innings. Well, for anybody, it's a little too high. Forget closer.
Last 4 appearances, it's really been accentuated. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 7 runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 home runs. So the Red Sox get a run to go up 3-1, runner on first and 2 outs. And not to harp on the obvious, but again, the pitch that Sanchez can't block essentially is that run. You know, that ground ball up the middle, you don't know if the same thing is going to happen. You can't fall for the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, but they get the force at second on that play, and then a base hit does not score the run. So I know it's a work in progress, but Sanchez has to be able to block those pitches in the dirt. It's just too costly when he does it. Yesterday, 2 pitchers had to get 4 outs instead of 3, and against this team, you're going to get hurt having to get 4 outs instead of 3. 3 is tough enough. The 0-2. Strike 3. So Chapman goes 1-2-3 on Holt, and Holt down looking. But the Red Sox get a run on 2 hits, 1 man left. We'll go to the 7th. It's 3-1 Boston. Lease offers by People's United Wealth Management, ready to help you set tomorrow in motion. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. Well, Rick Porcello's afternoon is over. Brandon Workman will come on. This will be his 18th game. You see his numbers so far. So Workman will deal with the bottom third of the Yankee order. First up, Todd Frazier. Yankees on the Cadillac scoreboard down 3-1. Frazier was running his hands up to fake a bunt, and then the pitch was up and in.
Yeah, Devers was back at third. Workman worked on the Friday game, went 1 2/3, a hit, strikeout, 2 walks.
2-0.
You know, Workman's been a nice little story for the Red Sox this year after some arm injuries and thinking maybe, you know, he wasn't going to get it back. Suddenly found some of his velocity back.
3 pitches inside to Todd Frazier, so 3-0. Yankees have managed just 3 hits. Red Sox have Addison Reed up in the bullpen. There's a strike on the inside corner, 3-1. 3-9-0, leading 1-3-0. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Red Sox won 9-6 on Friday night. Yankees won 4-3 last night. High fly ball left field. Benintendi for the first out. This game has some import for sure because it's a 2-game swing for the Yanks. They either leave Boston 3 games out or they leave Boston 5 games out. And there's 4 games head-to-head remaining. And those will take place at Yankee Stadium. So the old 2-game swing.
You like to keep it within a series. You understand what I mean? You don't want to have to look for help from any other teams. You want to be able to do it yourself.
Tyler Austin swings and misses. Austin struck out twice. One and one.
To your point, Michael, it makes you wonder if on the other side, you know, Farrell would go to his closer maybe in the 8th inning if needed today. Oh, Addison Reed, his normal 8th inning guy warming up now and backup of Workman here in the 7th.
You wonder how many times he's done that during the course of the year.
He doesn't want to.
Often. Yeah.
He doesn't want to. Which I wholeheartedly disagree with. But I'm not managing. I believe that, and we've talked about this, Michael, that from the 7th inning on, in the toughest part of the game, the high leverage situation, you should use your best assets.
Well, unlike the Yankees, the Red Sox do not have a day off tomorrow. They're playing Cleveland.
That one is hit into center field. Coming on is Bradley. He makes the play. Here's Ronald Torreyes.
Sometimes the climax of the game happens in the 8th inning. Sometimes the game is won and lost before the 9th inning. Sometimes you sit on your closer and then you don't use them when you could have. I always equate it to this. The best year I ever saw from Mariano Rivera, the great Hall of Famer, gonna be Hall of Famer. The best year he ever had was 1996.
And he wasn't the closer.
He wasn't the closer. He pitched over 100 innings that year. He had more impact on more games.
Fly ball down the right field line. Betts on the run toward the stands, and it makes the seats.
Well, modern day closers get used maybe 50 to 60 innings a year nowadays, and the 1 inning, keep it for the 9th inning only. You have your 7th inning guy, you have your 8th inning guy, and let's just use this guy, Kimbrel, who is awesome, dynamite this year, clearly on his game. I want to use him for a little bit more than 50 or 60 innings. I want to find a way to get a little bit more out of him, even if you have to pitch him in the 8th inning here and there in the right spot and give him an extra day of rest, or let somebody else close the game with a 3-run lead in the 9th. I think you waste a lot of closers in that situation. 3-run lead in the 9th.
Ground ball is short. And Workman works a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, time for the 7th inning stretch here in Boston, and the Red Sox lead the Yankees 3-1, but will stay right where we are as they honor America here in Massachusetts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Sox Foundation helps make dreams come true for the families of New England. Each game you aid in these life-changing efforts by supporting the 50-50 raffle. Today's winning numbers are now posted on the center field video board. And now, before Josh Cantor leads us in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, we ask you to please rise. Here to perform God Bless America, please welcome 2 young Red Sox fans and sisters who perform in musical productions. 10-year-old Annie and 12-year-old Rosie, the Rossi sisters.
The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-9-0, leading 1-3-0. They talked about Gray, went 5 innings. Porcello lasted 6. The Yankees run a solo home run around the pesky pole by Brett Gardner. Jackie Bradley Jr. a 2-run triple and an RBI single. He's driven all 3 runs. Chapman's out there again. He got the last out of the 6th. Now faces Mookie Betts. Pitches outside. According to our very own Jeff Quagliata, Chapman coming in the 6th inning. That was his first appearance in the 6th inning since September 23rd, 2011. About 6 years.
And you heard Jack mention that Sonny Gray did not strike out a batter today. It's the first start he's had this year without a strikeout.
Cadillac scoreboard 3-1, Boston over the Yanks.
Still only 2 runs given up by Sonny Gray, with all that being said.
So 3-0 on Betts. Nobody up in the bullpen. The pitch. There's a strike.
Breaks Sonny Gray's streak of at least 6 innings pitched and 2 earned runs or less. He got the 2 earned runs part down. He only got through 5.
That
was 9 in a row that he had coming into this game.
And he walked him. That was 99 miles an hour. The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios.
Well, you mentioned it, Kenny. I mean, the first thing you look at with pitchers, you're trying to find out, what's going on. If there's struggles, it's command. First thing is command. Walks are up. The second thing is missing bats. Strikeouts are down a little bit in terms of the bar that Chapman set.
Here's Andrew Benintendi.
That's with 17 steals in 20 attempts. The Red Sox are more of a running team than they used to be in the past.
This year, contact percent on his fastball, 78.5%. That's up. And it's up 18.5 since 2014. Last year was 68.9. And the velocity is essentially the same, although today his fastball is sitting around 97. But he did have a 99 mile an hour fastball in there. That's 100 miles an hour.
Notice there the 2 different fastballs. The previous one at 97 he swung through and missed. That one at 100 he fouled off. That one was down, the other one was up. So that's my theory with regard to Chapman, is that it's okay to throw down to get ahead, but when you throw the ball 97 to 100, up the ladder is the place to go.
When you're trying to pass.
Once again 101 but down and fouled off.
It's hard to get on top of a fastball that's 100 miles an hour. This one's kind of thigh high, a little lower, and all you have to do is drop the head of the bat on it. You don't have to keep the bat up and level and turn your hands over quickly, as you do on a high fastball.
Ladder high and above the zone, I believe, would work better for Chapman, especially with 2 strikes. It's hard to throw it up there, you know, from the first pitch. You have to get strikes first. So down and up. Up the ladder is what they call. You work down and then up. And that comes with command. The ability to throw the ball where you're trying to throw it. Up the ladder, not in and out. Pretty good slider right there on the outside corner, and got a check swing. Benintendi just barely spoiled it.
Yeah, he's lucky he's still up there.
But once again, it's kind of flat and on the same plane. Be nice to see him tweak his grip and get a little more depth on that slider.
And that's off the glove of Sanchez. That allows Betts to go to second.
Well, this is a tough one. This is 102 miles an hour and way outside in the other batter's box. So you can say all you want about that being a pass ball. It's not easy catching 102 in the other batter's box.
They scored a wild pitch. Now a talk with Sanchez.
This might have to do with signs now with a runner at second base. The signs have switched up. A little bit more difficult. Certainly when somebody's throwing 100 miles an hour, you don't have the cross up. And Joe's going to get somebody else up in the bullpen.
You certainly don't want to see Chapman here get blown out. This pitch number 16 is going to be coming, so certainly protecting Chapman is on Girardi's mind right now. Looks like Tommy Kahnle.
Runner goes. Foul ball. He did not check Betts. And it would have been a stolen base, but Benintendi had to protect with 2 strikes.
Good jump, although Sanchez still would have had a shot, I believe, but another fastball down fouled off.
It would have to have been one of his better throws to get him. And with Frazier off the line with a left-handed hitter, he's going to have to hit a moving target. Makes it even more difficult.
Bringing 2 on Benintendi. And the 3-2. Fly ball right field. Betts is going to tag. And Judge flips the ball in easily. And Betts deked him and goes to third. Completely deked him as Judge flipped the ball in rather than fire it in. Yankees are back on their heels.
Now we got a couple of rookies getting schooled today. First Devers getting picked off at first base. And now Judge thinking that Mookie Betts was going to stay put because if it wasn't too deep a fly ball, just throws it in easily, and Betts has the speed, takes off, and he's into third. That should not happen.
Really good base running too. Mookie Betts completely baited Aaron Judge into that. Can't take anything for granted in this game.
No, not. You got to know who's on base. Mookie Betts is capable of doing things like that.
Yankees bring the infield in for Hanley Ramirez. Swing and a miss. 0 for 7 against Chapman in his career with 4 strikeouts. Strike 2. (3-1) Red Sox, bottom of the 7th inning. Runner at third, 1 man out. 0-2 on Ramirez. Chapman deals. Just missed. Crowd of 36,911, a sellout here at Fenway Park. And the pitch.
Just a little one-on-one. He thought that Ramirez was going to leave his shoes swinging at that one.
100, was that 102 or 101?
That was 102 on our gun.
Health, not an issue. Life and command, yes.
Foul back.
I like that pitch a lot better there than the previous one. Much weaker swing from Ramirez.
Pitches up a little higher.
Yes, you see that. He barely gets that one. The previous swing at 102 down, he took a lash at. That one's just harder to get to. The high fastball is still the hardest pitch to hit with mustard on it. Always has been, always will be.
Or catcher.
Two and 2. That was a slider with no bite.
He really changed his whole delivery on that one. You could see it coming a mile away. Trying to manufacture the movement, like he's trying to make it move rather than just trusting it and snapping it.
Two. Fly ball, shallow center, coming on as Hicks. He'll make the catch, and he fires into Headley as Betts stays put at third base.
If the Yankees get out of this inning without a run, you know who's going to be the most relieved is going to be the right fielder.
Yes, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, for allowing Mookie Betts to get to third base with 1 out.
That's the second time this series that Betts has deked Judge into not making a throw. So here is Rafael Devers. Remember the Sunday night when he got that big home run against Chapman. Well, the pitch count certainly up there. 26 pitches for Chapman. He threw 3 pitches in the 6th inning, so 23 here in this inning. Infield backs up. There's a strike. That was a slider. 1-1.
Probably the most effective use of his slider when Chapman can start it right at a lefty and break it over the inner half.
Yeah, they're not going to take any chances. It's going to be a fastball and take it in the ribs.
Fouled that slider back, 1-2.
Not there. I like that first one better.
Yeah, this
not
is,
there.
This is
no.
a heck of a swing.
Oh. Right down the middle.
Runner on third, 2 outs. Swing and a tip into the glove of Sanchez, and that will do it as Devers strikes out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. An inning and a third of scoreless ball for Chapman as we go to the 8th. On Yes after the final out for the WB Mason postgame as our studio team wraps up this big weekend series with the Red Sox and takes a look at the updated playoff picture. Plus, you get a preview of Tuesday's matchup with the Tigers. Tanaka's supposed to start on that one. That's all coming up only on Yes. Well, the Red Sox bring in Addison Reed now to face the top of the Yankees order. Should send out birthday wishes to former Yankee third baseman Greg Nettles, 73 today. Happy birthday to Greg Nettles. Hyundai scoreboard 3-1 Boston over the Yanks. Gardner will lead off. He is 2 for 3. He has the Yankees only run a home run in the 5th around the pesky pole down the right field line. There's a strike from Reed.
And all in all, a successful day for Aroldis Chapman. Inning and third pitch with no hits, and did have a walk, but a couple of strikeouts, including his nemesis, Rafael Devers,
who had one good swing at him, but then he elevated a fastball, got him to swing through it.
Missed it by a foot.
Yeah, about that much.
So nonetheless, got to feel better about Chapman after today.
Ground ball. Grabbed there by Holt. Fires to first. Got him. Iasonia took a while and finally called him out.
He wanted to see if Moreland had control of the ball. Good play by Holt just to come up with it, and he's with the snap throw. Yeah, he's definitely out.
Moreland almost looking like he's twisted his knee. I mean, he got twisted like a pretzel. And great play, and Moreland, wow, dangerous.
That replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here.
So Holt saves a base hit, and Moreland didn't have to pull it out of the dirt, but he had to contort his body just to make the play.
Put himself in harm's way, as Gardner could have run up his back and did have a little contact.
Pitch to Hicks is a ball. Yankees running out of time here because they know that Kimbrel's lurking in the bullpen for the ninth. Hicks 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground ball to first. Count 1-1. Aaron Judge is on deck. And now Kimbrel is up.
This goes to show you what Farrell thinks about this game. If a high leverage situation presents itself here in the 8th, Kimbrel will be ready.
Fly ball right field. Betts shading his eyes from the sun and puts it away for the second out.
Yeah, it's that time of day where the right fielder really is the one who's going to have to deal with the sun, and the second baseman on some pop-ups. But Mookie Betts has been out there long enough. And I can tell you, it's not fun when you can't find the ball. You know it's hitting your direction. But using the glove, the sunglass, still not sure. Now he finds it and makes the play.
There's Aaron Judge. In the second half of the season, Judge is 3 for 39 with 16 strikeouts, no home runs and no walks against the Red Sox. And on the season against the Red Sox, 9 for 53 with just 1 home run and 2 runs batted in.
That home run was off Rick Porcello back in April.
1-2 Judge. Fly ball to center, ground ball to second, and a pop up to first. 3 for his last 20, 7 for his last 47. Two and two. Foul back. And Judge down on strikes. Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Addison Reed. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Boston. Canely will take over on the mound. Hyundai scoreboard 3-1 Boston. So Judge strikes out to end top of the 8th. It's now 37 games in a row with at least one strikeout. And, Joe was insistent today. He was not dropping him out of the number 3 hole, but you have a player now who's 0 for 4 today, 7 for his last 48, 3 for his last 21, and coming into this game in the second half of the season, hitting 181, so that number's gone down. Those are the numbers on Canely with the White Sox and the Yankees, and you don't want to put this all on Judge because the entire Yankee offense has been shut down. But this is a little bit longer than a slump now, so they're going to have to think about either giving him a rest, because it worked with Benintendi, who was absolutely lost, and Farrell sat him down for 2 games, didn't play him at all, and since then he's been on fire, or drop him in the order. But Girardi was saying today most of our RBIs have been coming from the bottom of the order, so it's going to find you anyway. But one of the things that you can answer back, you put people at the top of the order so they can get more at bats, so this takes one at bat away from him.
At the beginning of the year, Judge was batting 7th.
Yep.
And then he rose to 5th. And then eventually he rose to 3rd. But the production was getting better and better and better. Now it's regressed, as Michael said. Is it time to move him down a little bit? Get him out of those pressure situations right off the bat, the first inning you hit.
And of course, you could make the argument that a big situation is going to find you anywhere in the order.
That's true.
Totally get it, but you are putting the percentages. You put your best hitter 3rd. Every lineup usually puts their best hitter 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. He's certainly not the best hitter right now. And we'll see what the Yankees do.
I think the question becomes is who do you replace him with?
Well,
you look up and down the order.
No, I don't think you look at the order now. You look at who's coming back. That's what you look at.
The choices for today. I mean, if you want to prosecute both sides of this, you could say Aaron Judge could have sat today and then had an off day tomorrow as well, and maybe got Ellsbury in the lineup somehow today against his old team. But it's very difficult when you look at that green monster and Aaron Judge's potential for one swing to win a ball game for you. So I understand Joe Girardi's quandary here in this ballpark. Hence why Tyler Austin was in the lineup as well today after seeing what he could do yesterday.
Well, I guess the answer in who could bat 3rd today, you could put Sanchez 3rd, and you could have Didi 4th, Headley 5th, and then Judge 6th. I mean, there are ways to do it just to give the guy a little bit of a break. You can't tell me that he's not pressing. How can he not be pressing? Maybe something changes when Castro comes back.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Castro and Bird as well. Not to say they would throw Bird right in the 3rd spot. I don't think that will happen.
The one thing that to use David's phrase, to prosecute aside here, if your point is wherever you bat a guy, there's going to be an RBI opportunity, well, then lineups don't mean a thing, right? They absolutely don't mean a thing. If you could put anybody anywhere and they're going to be found, then lineups don't mean anything.
Yeah, I think it does, Michael, in the sense that the first inning, you get your best guys up, and usually the first inning is an inning over the course of the season where a lot of runs are scored. And then from that point on, you don't have any, it's when your turn comes, it's your turn.
I think Girardi's also thinking that Judge is still getting his walks. There's a good chance he will walk. He'll be the guy on base when Gary Sanchez comes up behind him. And through all this 181 batting average, Judge's on base percentage is still about league average. A little under 350 through this slump.
So 350, but we were spoiled with a 430 or 440 early in the year.
No doubt about it. That is elite and unsustainable production, really.
Count 2-2 on Moreland. Moreland's 1 for 3. Scored the 3rd run of the game. That was in the 6th inning. And the count 3-2. Well, Moreland is the guy who got the base hit against Canely on the changeup. So what does Canely throw here on 3-2? High fly ball, left field. Gardner turning, looking, and he's going to play it off the scoreboard. Bogarts will stop at second, third, and the tag is late by Didi. So a double for Moreland, second and third with nobody out.
Left-handed hitter using that wall to an advantage. Just a lazy fly ball in most other ballparks, but here Brett Gardner's going to have to give up on it, but he plays the wall very well, gets the ball back in quickly, and that is why Bogarts is still at third base. And if he fumbles it around or misplays the ball off the wall, bare hands it, gets it back in. Bogarts almost rounded to third. That's too far at third, and it's home plate umpire Lance Barksdale with the call. Didi has the ball.
Didi's on the bag. It's a different story.
Yep.
Didi's a little too far off the bag. He gets the throw and has to reach.
Yankees bring the infield in for Sandy Leon. 3-1 and Kimbrel warming up. Goes off speed and the count 0-1. Off speed at 90, but he throws close to 100.
Caleb Smith, just in case this gets out of control, backing up.
Count 0-2.
Well, if you can get Leon out here, you can pass Jackie Bradley Jr. He's been knocking in runs at an alarming rate. And go to the top of the order.
Time called. To right field. It's a base hit into the corner. 2 runs will score. Leon chugs into second with a 2-run double, and it's 5-1 Boston.
See where this pitch is, right in the center of the plate. And Leon, who had been 0 for 27 against the Yankees, is 2 for 3 today. Been on base 3 times.
It's almost in the same position Canely was as he was the other night last night against Moreland. 2 changeups and then a fastball. And that one right down the middle, and Girardi's seen enough.
He's going to call on Caleb Smith. 5-1 Red Sox lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Nobody out.
Now it's time for the Land Rover drive of the game.
Going to go all the way back to the second inning and a triple in the Bermuda Triangle. And anytime you hit it there in this ballpark, anybody who's on base is going to score. And the guy who hit it's going to end up on third base. So off the bat of Jackie Bradley Jr., the Land Rover drive of the game.
And Jackie Bradley will be facing Caleb Smith. 3 games with the Yankees this season. 2 starts. 10 innings, 12 hits. So runner at second, nobody out. Yankees trying to hold it here at 5-1. The rubber game of this 3-game set. Big 2-game swing game for both teams.
Change of plans, Fernando Abad. Going to probably get a chance to come in and close this game out, and Farrell will be able to save Kimbrel.
As we said, the Cleveland Indians loom for the Red Sox.
Pitch inside to Bradley. 3-0.
Red Sox now have 11 hits today. Yankees just 3. Well, both starters kind of banged heads a bit. It was 2-1. Both threw a lot of pitches. Both exited early. Porcello, I think, got through 6. And Sonny Gray through 5.
And Smith walks Bradley on 4 pitches.
Is there such a thing as being too careful?
Yes.
And not trusting your stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a balance. For hitters, it's selectively aggressive. For pitchers, it's almost the same thing. A certain knack for learning when you have to throw strikes and when you don't have to throw strikes.
Here's Holt. 5 balls in a row by Caleb Smith. Ripped to right field. It's a base hit. Judge fields and flips the ball into Headley. Bases loaded for the Red Sox. Nobody out.
Well, not much in the way of relief in this inning, as Holt stays on a pitch and drives it into right field for the hit. Leon at second, not the fastest of runners, so Brian Butterfield's going to hold him up. And it's turned into one of those days for Joe Girardi.
This game very close to getting out of hand as the Yankees bring the infield in on Betts. Pitch upstairs.
We were talking to Paul O'Neill in the last series, and the importance of last night's win to avoid a sweep. Sometimes it's more important than you think. Yankees in jeopardy of losing 2 out of 3 here after losing 2 out of 3 in New York in the last series.
It's hard to figure baseball because the one game that you might end up taking is the one that Sale started.
No doubt about it. Great point. Yankees came in to this series trailing by 4, and they're going to leave trailing by 5 rather than 7. You talk about that 2-game swing. This is barring a Yankee comeback, obviously, and top of the ninth.
Jason Shreve now up in the bullpen for the Yanks. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Brian Mitchell.
You asked that question of Paulo O'Neill, Michael, in the Mets series we just did. His answer was just don't get swept. What can't you let happen when you come up here? Well, don't get swept. Those are the killers. You talk about the 2-game swings. Every game there's a 2-game swing. You theoretically, or when you look at the standings.
Well, the Yankee infield has been in quite a few times today. It's not a good feeling when you're an infielder when you know your range has been cut considerably.
2-2.
They've been on defense a lot. They've spent a lot of minutes out there. A lot of standing around for the Yankee defenders today.
Two. Strike 3. Betts down looking, 1 away.
Drills the inside corner. A little slider, maybe not the best one, but it got the job done.
A little cut spin on it. Mookie Betts is locked up.
Benintendi. Fly ball left field. Gardner makes the catch, tagging Leon. He just draws the throw as it comes into Frazier. So 2 away. And that's going to bring up Hanley Ramirez, who is 1 for 4. We'll look ahead to the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees have Gregorius, Sanchez, and Headley. Actually, top of the ninth. So Smith trying to work out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam.
Yeah, quite a turnaround for Smith here. Now up 0-1 on Ramirez.
Now Kimbrel's back up.
Good off-speed pitch. A couple of pitches in, and then change up away. And what that does is also creates a little doubt for Ramirez up there. What am I looking for next? Where's he going?
It's probably Smith's best secondary pitches, that changeup. It's got good fade on it, down and away from right-handed batters.
Right back to Smith. And that will do it. But the Red Sox get 2 more runs on 3 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the 9th.
With Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Chevy Yankees pregame. And Ryan Rucco and I will have the call from Comerica Park. It's all right here on Yes, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
And these are the matchups. Tanaka comes off the DL to face Matthew Boyd on Tuesday. Then Severino against Zimmerman. And Jaime Garcia against Michael Fulmer. All these games mean something, so make sure to tune in. Strangely, the Red Sox bring in Kimbrel with a 4-run lead.
Yeah, not a safe situation. And I'm thinking, you know, they're playing tomorrow, as I said, and they're facing the Cleveland Indians. These are pitches that Kimbrel's going to throw here that he could be throwing tomorrow.
Yeah, it shows you the importance of this game to Farrell. He had Kimbrel up in the 8th as well. He was going to use him in the first big spot he had, even with a 4-run lead here.
For your information, as the Red Sox go later into the season and they play the Yankees 4 times at the stadium on the next homestand, Kimbrel's had 3 saves of more than 3 outs, and that's this year, and in his career 11. So they might be asking him to do a little bit more than that. Foul back. One and two. Now, he had a bot up when they had the bases loaded and nobody out. He does not trust a bot at all. So it would only bring him into a game with a really big lead. So once they didn't score again, he decided to go with Kimbrel. Check swing.
So Caleb Smith kept Kimbrel in this game.
Got him into the game.
Got him into the game with a Houdini. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Popped up. Holt makes the play. One down. Here's Gary Sanchez. Sanchez 0 for 2 with a walk.
His only hit of this series was a home run.
Seemed like a big home run at the time. Tied the game at 3. Yankees ended up taking a 6-3 lead in the Friday game, and they ended up losing the game 9-6. A very difficult loss.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Michael. If you look back and the Yankees fall short in the division, there's going to be some of these blown games against the Red Sox that'll be easy to point to.
Well, this is the 15th game this year that they've played, and if the Red Sox hold on, Yankees 8, Red Sox 7. That's how close it's been, and there've been some games that victory just snatched away from the Yankees. Looked like they had them and didn't hold on. Sanchez down on strikes. Yankees down to their final out.
Notice where he goes, up the ladder. 98 works a lot better up there when you get 2 strikes.
They got him to chase it.
It only stands to reason when you throw that hard, hitters have to commit sooner, so they're more apt to chase.
Ellsbury's being alerted on the bench there just in case Headley keeps this going. I don't know if he'll hit for Frazier or not.
And there's a strike to Headley. Headley's 1 for 2, a double, a walk, and a ground ball to third. So Cleveland comes into Fenway, and then the Yankees head to Detroit after this game. They will have a day to reset. Monday is an off day. Boston's going to Cleveland. The Yankees are going to Detroit, so they're both flying out after this game. And the Yankees start their series on Tuesday night. And now the Yankees are down to their final strike. Most of the sellout crowd on its feet. The 1-2 swing and a miss, and the Red Sox win 5-1. It could have been a lot worse, but to be brutally blunt, it should have been and could have been a lot better. Not a great weekend in Boston for the New York Yankees as they lose 2 out of 3 for the second straight weekend to the first place Red Sox. We'll come back to Boston in just a moment to wrap things up. Red Sox beat the Yankees 5-1.